The next stage in building your empire is buying some MC businesses. And to have any businesses at all for the motorcycle clubhouse, you need a motorcycle clubhouse. So MC stands for motorcycle club, and you have to have a clubhouse. This is my clubhouse. It's just a disused gas station out in the countryside, and it's the cheapest one there is for 200,000. I recommend you get this one. You can always move it later if you want to. Initially, I think they intended the clubhouse to be kind of a centre activity for the club. For me, it really is just something you have to buy to get the next stage. I'll just look on the overall map here. Big map. The clubhouse is here, and I, from this character, run 3 different MC businesses: coke, cocaine, meth, methamphetamine, and counterfeit cash. And as you see, they're all fairly close to each other and fairly close to the clubhouse. So that's a really good thing. The drawback is they're all out in the countryside. So if you're starting over here in maybe your office or your apartment, you've got a long way to go to get to your clubhouse. You've got to go either some circuitous, more major roads, or through these hilly roads, which are really pretty bad for driving along, very twisty and turny, lots of chances to crash and fall off. Or you can fly up there in your helicopter. Now, you can't call in your CEO buzzard while you're an MC, and this is the major problem for the MC businesses, especially when you start out, when you're running solo. And we'll come on to why later in this video. So the clubhouse for 200,000, and you would buy that at May's Bank of Foreclosure. And we'll just look at clubhouses. Some of them are in town here. In fact, most of them are in town. But there's no real advantage in having them in town. I find there's some way out here at the top of the map also. You can use your clubhouse to look at your businesses, and you need one to buy your businesses. But to actually resupply and sell from your businesses, you have to go to the business location. So for my money, the clubhouse is not as useful as it could have been. Now, if they'd allowed you to resupply the businesses from the clubhouse computer, then you'd definitely want one in town, and you'd only go out to the business when it was time for a sale. But you have to go there to restock. So there's no real advantage. You're going to be every couple of hours of game time going out to your businesses to replenish those supplies and do a sale. This is my one, and it's not showing the price because I've already bought it. You can add various things to it. You can add a gun locker, bike shop, and so on. I haven't bothered with bike shop because I don't actually use motorbikes that much, and I did have the gun locker, I think, because it was the cheapest one in the game. Other locations here for 210, 225. If you want one right in the middle of town, you can spend as nearly as $500,000. My other character, I have this one, the Del Perro one, and the reason for that is it's near all my other stuff. I've got my office, I've got my apartment, I've got my nightclub, all in this Del Perro area. It made sense for me to have all the things in one place. For this character, I spread out a bit more because I could. I had the money to do it. But I've gone for the countryside clubhouse and the countryside business locations. So you've bought your clubhouse, you want to go to your clubhouse, you can enter by the garage or by the pedestrian entrance. It doesn't make any difference. Obviously if you're driving, it will tell you to go in through the garage door. Out of the wind and rain now. And this is the inside of a clubhouse. I feel sorry for this woman. She's probably the loneliest woman in the game because she stands here in my clubhouse all day, and I very rarely even come into this room. Let's see if I can sit down and watch TV. I'm not sure I actually can, but maybe I can. You know, this is the first time I've ever actually done this in the game. So yes, you can turn on the TV in the clubhouse and you can go away from your keyboard while you're here in the clubhouse. You can then go to your business monitor, check out the levels of supply of each of your businesses. Maybe that's useful, maybe this is a good place. And of course you can therefore spawn in your clubhouse if you've bought the living room, and I think you
all got
get
an
that. I think
organ
you get
donor
the
card? You should
bedroom,
get
as it
one
were, for free.
and tick all them boxes, except for liver and lungs. They don't
And
get
you
much
kind of
use
get
out
it
of
for
them.
free because it's pretty gross. You can't upgrade this. You can make it look different, but it's still going to look terrible. So you literally sleep on a camp bed in your little office area. You can have a wardrobe here. You can have a gun locker. I don't know why they call it a locker. It doesn't lock. But what you're really coming here for, and the reason you're buying this, is so you can get one of these computers to buy your Motorcycle Clubhouse businesses. When you log in on this computer, you are automatically a motorcycle president, and if you're logged in as a Securicorp CEO, you will not be allowed to log in. You have to come out of that and then come in as an MC president. And you'll see I have 3 businesses here: the Grand Sonora Desert Counterfeit Cash, Grand Sonora Desert Methamphetamine, and the Alamosi Cocaine. I could switch these if I say I only want to look at cocaine. The one I got was the cheapest, but there are other ones. There's one way up at Palito Bay, and I have no idea why anybody would buy that, because, again, you're going to be driving a long way to deal with pretty much anything that you've got to sell. There's one in the middle of town here, and one down at Elysian Island. I have this Morningwood one on my other character, and it's very good for restocking. I don't think it's necessarily the greatest for the sales, and of course the sales are the important ones, but it's not bad. And the cocaine is right next to that Del Perro apartment block, the cocaine one, if you buy the one in the city. For meth, again, another Palito Bay, one down right south, I think, at the down towards the docks. And then El Burro is the one I have, which is kind of the closest to the city. I think, let's see, view map for terminal. It's way down there. So you're going to have trouble every time you do that. You're going to have to do a lot of driving to get anywhere, which is going to be a nuisance. I went for the El Burro one, but even then it's way out here on the map, so it's kind of away from the other 2 businesses I own, and that's a bit of a nuisance. So for this character, all 3 businesses are very close to each other. Counterfeit Cash, Meth, Coke. I wouldn't bother with the other ones. You can buy weed, and you can buy forgery, document forgery, but they don't make a lot of money. They take just as much effort to do the sales missions, and really running 5 MC businesses plus the bunker is a lot. And later on we're going to come on to buying a nightclub, and that's another thing you're going to sell from. So that could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different sales missions you've got to do. That's a lot of work. If you're solo selling and solo running this, and you do not have a flying motorbike, you may find yourself driving across the map 5 miles and then having to go all the way back to your business to get the next delivery vehicle. There are a variety of different delivery vehicles: motorbikes, post office trucks, garbage trucks, boats, and you'll have to get to the boat to sell. Helicopters, again, you need to get to where the helicopters are to sell. And airplanes, you've got to get to where the airplanes are before you can start flying them and selling those, or get rid of those goods. Or you can get a single truck, which is going to be right outside your business. That's the nice one. That's the easy one. Anyone can do that by themselves. You will get attacked by bikers on motorbikes, but they will be behind you, and they will shoot bullet pox in the back of the truck. That's it. They don't do any real harm to you. They won't hit you because you're in the cab up front with a big truck behind you. If you're going to solo sell and you don't have that flying motorbike, my recommendation would be stock once, sell, stock once, sell. Don't fill the whole thing up, because you'll find yourself unable to complete the mission because you've got to do too much driving around on a regular motorbike or something else. If you have a buzzard, which by now you should have, you can call in the Pegasus buzzard, and I would recommend you have that ready before you start the sale. That way, if you need to go to your boat location, or the airplanes, the seaplanes, or the helicopter location, you can get there quickly without having to drive around anywhere. It's only going to cost you $200 or $500 to call in the buzzard. I would say you have that ready before you do the sale. I can see that my cocaine is nearly ready to sell at, if I were going to sell at just one restock. The meth, I'm filling it all the way up. The counterfeit cash, I just sold it and I'm reselling it now. Each business you buy just gives you the basic business location. You then have to do a setup mission, but it's fairly simple. It's go somewhere, pick up a vehicle and drive it back to your base. But you will not want upgrades on those businesses. And the upgrades are not cheap. For the Coke lab, your initial cheapest business is $975,000. But you're going to spend another $935,000 upgrading the equipment and $390,000 on the staff. You would do the staff first and then the equipment, but ultimately it's going to cost you one way or another. I would also recommend you get the security upgrade at some point once you've gone beyond just selling one refill, because it is going to be necessary. And if you do that, that's $570,000. So the total cost you could be spending on the Coke lab with all the setups is $2.870 million, $2,870,000. Cheaper than the bunker, but it doesn't get you as much profit on each sale. So that's why I always recommend going bunker first, and it saves you having to buy the clubhouse and do all the different labs. Plus, the Chumash bunker is much easier to get to in a regular vehicle. And of course, if you're selling as a CEO, which you would be, you can use your buzzard to get there. When you sell from the Coke, if you've got all the refills, all the upgrades, sorry, your sales profit is $93,000 on one refill, or $232,500 if you fill the whole thing up. For the Coke and the meth, it takes 2.5 refills to fill the whole thing up. For the counterfeit cash, it's only 2 refills. That results in the counterfeit cash being almost as profitable as the meth if it's completely full, and actually slightly more profitable on just one refill, according to my calculations. Other things that are inside your MC Clubhouse, you've got that kind of bar area where you can sit down, watch TV, or buy drinks. This is where motorcycles are stored, and as you see, I'm not a huge motorbike person. It doesn't store the flying motorbikes, they get stored separately. At least the one I use does. This is just a motorbike I stole off the street so that I have a motorbike in my storage. You can get up to 10 in here, so if you like motorbikes, you can have up to 10 different kinds of motorbikes in here. And this area, which is currently empty, you can install a motorbike mechanic for money, going to cost you, who will then do the upgrades for you. However, you can also take your motorbikes to a regular garage, so it's kind of a luxury to have that available to you. You use it once for each motorbike, and that's pretty much the only time you're going to use it. So it's a luxury you can do without.
Kick ass out there.
So I didn't have any vehicle out when I started this. In fact, what I'm going to do is go back in and get that motorbike. That was my mistake there. Yep. Here we go. Back in again. And let's take this motorbike. Again, I haven't got any upgrades or anything on. This is just a regular street motorbike. A PCJ 600. And let's go to our Coke business. And here we go. Coke business is up here. I saw that it's nearly ready to sell. So let's go up there and see if we can generate a sale that requires ground vehicles. Whoa! Wrong side of the barrier. Looks like I could have probably done a shortcut. I don't normally do this, I normally just fly there, so not used to getting on a motorbike. And this doesn't seem too slow for an unupgraded motorbike. So this is the cheapest location you can have for cocaine, and I actually think quite a nice one. It's very easy to sell from this location. And it looks like while we were doing that talk, the supplies got used up, and I have 2 bars of product. So I'm going to try and sell at 2 bars of product, and I'm not going to use any helicopters to get around. I'm just going to use the motorbike to see how that goes. So we log in, buy my supplies. It's more efficient, but if you're really cheap on money, you can try doing it yourself. You'll only get 1 bar out of 5 potential bars each time you do a steal. And we've got post office vans.
We're attempting some discretion here and pretending we're the postal service. Got it? Okay. The product's loaded and ready for delivery.
So I'm going to go ahead and try and do this one, but my recommendation normally is if you're doing this solo and the post office vans come up, forget it. Just find a new session. You take a little bit of a hit on the product, you lose a little bit of product, but don't put yourself through this. Maybe just do it once like I'm doing here to see how it goes. It's a pain. These things are slow. Every time you get to your drop location, you have to get out, walk to the location, so you get a bit of jumping out, running around, jump back in and move on again. All of that takes a huge amount of time, and I've known it to take 17, 18 minutes to do one sale, and that's before you can go back to get to the second vehicle. That means you're not going to get 2 done in half an hour, let alone 3. And I'm normally selling a full Clubhouse worth, a full business worth, so I don't want to have to try and deal with 3 of these and then lose a bunch. If you don't get it sold, you lose it. They've marked out the points where you're supposed to go to, and you can change the order as long as you get the drops done. You can change the order, and I've seen people think they're doing it more efficiently. I really don't know if it makes much difference. You've got to get to all the points eventually. At least this way I'm not driving over the big hills, just going on the fairly flat road towards the coast. Having said that, I see it is guiding me inland a little bit, so I am going to end up going up a hill. Just see if I have a drop down by the ocean. Yes, I do. There's 2 drops over here. So let's just keep going and do those ones first. That way I'm not driving up and down a big hill in a slow truck. So you see now I'm nearer this location. It's changed which one it's telling me to go to. It doesn't matter what order you drop them in, but you want to try and be as efficient as possible. Because you've got a time limit on this. Half an hour is very doable with 3 or even 4 vehicles if you can fly in between to get from one to the next. When you've got ground vehicles like this, as you saw, the other one was parked outside my business, so I have to go back to my business once this one's sold, to get to my... I was just going to go one side or the other and they couldn't decide which way they wanted to go. You've got to get back to your business to do the second vehicle. If you've got 3 of these trucks or 3 garbage trucks, every one in between you've got to get back to your business to do the second one or the third one. Now garbage trucks, when you fly, not so bad because you just drop straight from the back of the truck. There's no getting in, getting out. They go faster. It's a quicker to drop, and you can do one within 10 minutes, get back and pick up another vehicle. These post office trucks, well, we'll see how we go, but I don't think I'm going to get this done in less than 15 minutes. And there's no upgrades to these delivery vehicles. You can't say, oh, I'm going to have specially faster post office trucks and pay money for it. They just don't give you a choice in the matter. So now we're hopping out. We've still got to get to the actual delivery point. And these are not always obvious. It's easy to see them at night. Sometimes when you're in the desert, I find it hard to spot where I'm actually supposed to do the drop. Sometimes they're like someone's mailbox stuck in the weeds somewhere. Now, if you've got a friend to help you with this stuff, of course, easy. Ideally, have at least 3 friends, and you all want to start inside the business, not have somebody hanging around outside. They've all got to be inside the business, and you've got a chance of just getting duffel bags to deliver. It might be 1 delivery each, it might be 3 deliveries each. It might be 1 location for everybody, it might be multiple locations for each different person. But once you've got friends doing it with you, it's much, much easier to get around. Even if you've just got 1 friend to help you, it really, really makes this much easier. Because if you're doing 3 delivery trucks, you've got 30 minutes to do it. You can do 1 in 10, get back to the second one and sell the third one, or the second one. Your other friend is doing the other one for you. If you had 2 friends and you've got 3 vehicles, of course, 1 each. Really, really easy. Get it done in 10 minutes. They're guiding us on. Where are they sending us now? Okay, they want us to go there. I'm not going to go back up in the hills. I'm going to go the other way. And I think in a second I'm going to see this line flip and send me the other direction. There it goes. So far it doesn't look like we're doing too badly. We've got 2 drops already and only just 6 minutes gone. But bear in mind, most of the other sales you can do 5 drops in 10 minutes. So 2 in 6 minutes, 7 minutes is not that great. It's only because I'm only doing 2 trucks that I think I've even got a hope of getting this done. If you don't sell everything, you do get the money on you, the ones you sold. So if you say you get 8 out of 10 delivered, it's not a total loss as it would be with the crates. You do get 80% of your sale. It won't register as a successful sale, but you'll get the money. And this vehicle is so dreadful. We try and avoid crashing into people because it just suck up those seconds, and seconds add up to minutes, and minutes add up to not finishing the sale. You waste too many. So I'm doing my best. A lot of the times, if I was in other vehicles, I'd be cutting corners and just knocking people out of the way with a garbage truck. But with the PO van, you hit somebody, it's really going to cost you. See the drop location there on the left. Okay, hoping we can get to it. You aren't going to cut in front of me. Ready to jump out. To the front door. Nice and discreet. Come on, get back in the truck. Long way to drive, and you see the distances between the drops are still pretty long, considering that you've got 5 drops to do. That's just a lot of mileage you've got to do, not counting the jumping in and jumping out business. And they just love to drive in front of you. Oof. Most vehicles just barred straight through those park benches, but not this one. There we are, 10 minutes already gone. We've still got 2 packages in the van, so I don't think I've wasted a lot of time getting around here. It just takes time to do this because it's such a tedious process. Okay, well, at least we can go straight on. So only a little bit over a mile to get there. A little bit under a mile, I should say. And I could argue that because I don't do these very often, I'm not familiar with the best shortcuts and routes. And I normally just follow the given line, and it just takes forever. Okay, this van is empty. Now, I need to call in my motorbike. Oh, okay, I'm not going to do the oppressor. I'm going to call in the PCJ, because you won't have an oppressor right now, so I don't want to have an advantage. Here's the PCJ. It should give me a line to get back to my other vehicles. Okay. So this thing's doing nearly 90. That's not bad. And you'll see it's 3 and a bit miles to get there. So it's still going to take a couple of minutes to get back to my business. Whoops. That's if I don't kill myself in the meantime, and that's the problem. Okay. Get back on. Oi! You just knocked my bike out of the way. Appears to have lost my track. I don't know what it's... That little crash was sufficient to lose my guiding track. And this is all soaking up precious seconds. Of course, I don't need to return for a third vehicle, so being a little bit over the 15 minutes isn't going to be desperate on that respect. Ah! One kind of hopes not to hit the trees on the way through here. again, when you're doing nearly 90 miles an hour, it's not always possible to swerve that quickly. And I could spend a bit of money and soup up this bike a little bit faster. But again, you've got the problem of avoiding obstacles, so I don't know how much it really benefits you to go faster if you just got to do more braking. And you end up with more crashes. Okay, for this one I'm just going to follow the given line. 13 minutes left. Can we get 5 drops? Of course, bear in mind, I'm in a solo public session here. I didn't create it, people just left and I'm on my own, so it happens. But if anybody decided they were going to come attack me, that'd be that for the sale. There's nothing you can do to defend yourself. If you spend time defending yourself, you won't get the sale done. So once you've got people attacking you for these missions, really all you can do is either dump out of the mission, or if you're lucky and you've got friends, they can try and deal with the attackers. And they get a signal and they're told exactly where to find you. So if somebody decides they're going to mess with you, they're going to mess with you. Nothing's going to stop them. And it doesn't really matter whether they destroy your product or not, they can stop you getting it sold. This is the windy road, so far fairly flat, but we're going to be coming up to hills soon, and that's going to slow us down even more. And I can hear the van engine struggling, just shifted down gear, struggling to get up the hills. What some people do if they've got a friend who's already delivered, say they had 4 friends or one friend and the other guys were delivered, is you can get a friend to come along and push you a bit. If they get a fast vehicle, they can come along and push you up the hill, and that can really help get the job done. I haven't got the luxury of that today. So this thing is genuinely going about 50 miles an hour at top speed. Shift down again. Struggle, struggle, struggle. Struggle, struggle. Just under 11 minutes left and we haven't done the sale yet from this van. Every time you adjust your direction, you're slowing the van down as well. You want to be going in a straight line. Now we're at the top of the hill, so we're going to come down. That's going to get us a little bit of extra speed. That's something. And there's our first sail coming up. Whoa, did I miss the spot? I have actually driven one of these vans in real life. I worked for a delivery company over a Christmas period one time, and I got to drive the vans and do these deliveries. And we hate people who have these long steps up to their front door and live in these far-flung locations that are difficult to get to. And driving this reminds me of those times. They were happy times. Lots of exercise, lots of climbing upstairs. Amazing thing, this van can actually get air coming down the hills, but there we go. Okay, 8.5 minutes. Coming up on our second sail. We might get this done. Again, I'm trying to cut corners where I can with the truck. Okay, 3 deliveries in 8 minutes. That sounds very doable, doesn't it? And it's only 0.69 miles to the next location. Almost all of these MC sales, by the way, have no combat involved. You're just driving vehicles. There is one motorbike sale where you will get attacked by the police. That's the only one where you actually have to shoot anybody. Okay, 8 down, 2 to go, and still nearly 6 minutes. I think we're going to get this done. But clearly, if I were trying to do 3 of these trucks by myself, there'd be absolutely no way I'd get it done. Or PO vans, they call them. We actually call it a package car if you're working in the industry. And in real life, these have sliding doors. I kind of wish they'd put sliding doors on these to make it more realistic. There's no way you'd have a swing open door. Over a mile to the next delivery, but we've got 5 minutes left, so I'm not worried that we're not going to get this done this time. And this is the worst sale, so if I can get this done from this location with post office vans, you can definitely do it with any of the other deliveries. As long as you're only doing one refill and then one sale. So polite, the drivers around here. Oh, train. I probably should have crossed the tracks before I got the train, but never mind. I've got tons of time this time round. You see how also sometimes the actual delivery spot is hidden from the road, and you've got to try and figure out where it is. Now I know because I've done these many times. Maybe not as many as some of the other deliveries. And there we go, 168,000 less the 75,000 I paid for the goods in the first place leaves me with a profit of 93,000. That's not bad for less than half an hour's work. And that just told me I can now disband. And I do that so I don't get a business attack. You will get business attacks and you're going to have to deal with them. But if you stay out of being MC open in the open area, in the free mode, you will not get attacked so much. Okay, I'm going to call that one a day for now. That's explaining the MC Clubhouse, your first MC business, and an example of an MC sale, and it turned out to be the post office vans, which are the most horrible sale you can have in this game. Still got it done well within the 30 minutes, but only with 2 vans.